Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're setting the stage for a deep dive into the fascinating and honestly kind of invisible forces driving our modern shopping habits. I mean, we live in a world where buying has literally never been easier, faster, or more baked into our daily lives. But, what's actually happening in our heads when we click Add to Cart? We're going to break down the exact science, the clever marketing tactics, and the digital ecosystems that shape our behavior. Let's get right into it.
So I want you to think about the last thing you purchased. Put yourself in the hot seat for just a second. Why did you buy that? Was it a carefully calculated, completely rational decision? Or is it just possible that a really complex web of biology, social pressure, and carefully engineered algorithms made that decision for you before you even realized it?
Okay, let's dive into this. Because look, we've all lived this exact micro scenario. You walk into a store fully intending to buy one single bottle of water. And then 20 minutes later, you're standing at the checkout with a basket full of snacks, a phone charger, a scented candle, and a t-shirt you absolutely never planned to buy. You promised yourself you'd only spend $2, yet your receipt tells a very, very different story. So why does this happen? Is it just a lack of willpower? Well, not quite.
Section 1. The internal drive, the brain's shopping cart. See, long before you even reach for your wallet, a total flurry of neurological activity is already deciding your next move. Psychologists actually distinguish between two very specific, often conflicting experiences: wanting versus liking. The brain's reward system spikes highest during the anticipation of a reward. That motivation to obtain it, waiting for a package, counting down to a flash sale, it triggers immense excitement. Turns out the desire to obtain is simply way stronger than the actual satisfaction of owning the thing.
Because of this, there's a massive disconnect between what we think we're doing and what's actually happening. I mean, we love to believe we're rational shoppers, right? But research shows emotion is what drives the instant impulse. You see something and think, wow, that looks amazing. Logic simply steps in a few moments later to justify it, saying something like, well, I need a jacket anyway, and hey, it's on sale. The emotion comes first, and the rationalization follows just to make us feel good about a choice our brain already made.
Section 2. External triggers, selling feelings and identity.
Now, our brains don't exist in a vacuum, and marketers know exactly how to activate those ancient biological drives we just talked about, and this brilliantly illustrates how modern advertising has shifted. They aren't just describing product features anymore. They're translating tactics into deep psychological triggers. Storytelling becomes emotional memory. You remember the feeling of a family adventure, not the car's engine specs. Artificial scarcity, like seeing only 2 left in stock, triggers straight-up survival FOMO. And luxury pricing? That's status signaling. You're literally buying the feeling of success.
Section 3. The digital ecosystem, the attention trap.
So zoom out a bit. Social media and digital platforms take those external triggers and absolutely supercharge them using data to build an automatic reflex. This is called the habit loop. First comes the cue. A push notification lights up on your screen. Then the routine. You open the app and start scrolling. Finally, the reward. You find a personalized, targeted discount. Over time, your brain associates that simple notification with a dopamine hit, turning what used to be occasional shopping into an unconscious, daily reflex.
And to make sure absolutely nothing interrupts that reflex, the digital ecosystem relies on the frictionless trap. Think about it. Every extra step you have to take to buy something gives your logical brain a chance to catch up and say, wait a minute, do I actually need this? By introducing one-click ordering, saved digital wallets, and auto-renewing subscriptions, these platforms completely remove what psychologists call the pain of paying. The friction is gone, and so is our chance to second-guess an impulse.
Add to all of this the massive scale of social proof.
As humans, we have this deep evolutionary instinct to follow the tribe. And the internet, it amplifies this exponentially. We aren't just looking at what our next-door neighbors buy anymore. We're exposed to viral global trends, millions of star ratings, and influencers who we form these deep parasocial relationships with. Buying has essentially become a very public performance of identity. If millions of people are buying it, our brain automatically tells us it must be safe, and for sure, it must be valuable.
Section 4. The hangover, the dark side of consumption.
But here's the thing. This endless cycle of friction-free, socially validated spending takes a pretty profound toll when the high wears off. Central to this is a really critical psychological concept called hedonic adaptation. Basically, this is our tendency to become rapidly accustomed to our new possessions. Like, that shiny new phone feels absolutely amazing on day one, but very quickly, that extraordinary feeling becomes ordinary. The excitement fades, leaving a void that sparks the desire for the very next upgrade.
And the harsh realities of this system are pretty far-reaching. The hidden costs of continuous consumption manifest individually as accumulated debt and the draining trap of emotional spending, where we shop just to cope with stress or boredom. On a broader scale, we see it in planned obsolescence, where products are literally designed with short lifespans to force replacements. And of course, in the environmental realities of resource extraction and mountains of fast fashion waste. These are simply the documented, impartial realities of an economy built on constant, rapid consumption.
Section 5. Reclaiming control, the conscious consumer.
Recognizing this system is the very first step toward beating it. But I really have to ask you directly, can we escape? I mean, when the absolute best psychologists, neuroscientists, and algorithms in the entire world are working around the clock to capture your attention and your wallet, do you actually have a chance?
Well, the answer is yes. Now, you can't out-algorithm the algorithms, but what you can do is pause. Awareness creates space between an impulse and an action. And that brief moment of reflection is your absolute greatest defense against those deeply ingrained habit loops. We take back that space by arming ourselves with a mindful checklist. Before you hit that one-click checkout, force yourself to ask, do I genuinely need this? Will I realistically still value this a year from now? Is it actually built to last? And most importantly, am I buying this for me or just to impress someone else? Answering these simple questions forcefully short-circuits your brain's emotional autopilot, which perfectly leads to one of the most powerful realizations from our source material. The greatest marketplace in the world isn't the mall, the supermarket, or the internet. It's the human mind. Every ad, every notification, and every product is ultimately just competing for space right inside your head. Which leaves us with one final, provocative question to think about the next time you find yourself browsing. Are you actually buying what you need, or are you just buying what you've been programmed to want? Take back that space, ask the right questions, and reclaim your control. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and keep questioning the world around you.